Okay, so we are back with It's a TRANSworld podcast. We're super excited to be here tonight. We have a special guest on with us, Trigga Infiniti Sanchez. Trigga is also the king, TRANSworld pageant king. He won the pageant more recently, and we're super excited to have him a part of the TRANSworld family. But we also wanted to dive into who is Trigga? Who is Trigga? But before we get started, I'm Raquel, your host. My handsome co-host, Malik Santiago St. James, is here, and he's going to give us some highlights before we really dive into asking Trigga all these interesting questions, because he's already said everything is on the table and there's nothing off limit.
He said what he said.
He said what the hell he said.
So I want to dive in to the baby. I don't know if you all remember a couple of months ago, the baby made some controversial remarks at one of his concerts. So
listen to that kind of music, so I don't even follow him. I don't need dance schemes or what he does. I know he's a rapper.
Yeah, he addressed some homophobic HIV stuff. He said a lot of ignorant stuff that he shouldn't have said. However, he has lost $200 million because of that. Because the remarks he said was very ignorant, and he should have lost.
What did he say?
Such as, if you here tonight and you ain't got HIV, hold your lighters up. If you here tonight and you don't suck dick, hold your lighters, that type of stuff. Oh yeah, he went in, so.
Maybe his lover made him mad before he got on stage.
I don't know, but he got canceled for a lot of stuff, and he has since lost $200 million.
Wow.
It's the second time getting canceled, ain't it?
I believe so. So, but I know it's a total of $200 million. So you just can't say what you want to say about our community and think you can just go on and make millions. It just don't work like that.
Well, little baby, we gonna pray for you. I hope it works out for you and it all comes back. But you better be for what you say.
And that's the baby.
Oh,
that's the baby.
Oh,
yeah.
I apologize.
D-A, baby.
Okay. The baby. I'm praying for you, and I hope it does work out and everything kind of comes back full circle. Even if you don't agree, we are all human, and we all deserve to be respected. So if there's any remorse in that, in anywhere in you, I'm praying for you that, what you've lost, you can gain again. Before we get started, we always say to our audience that we lead with love, and this is a safe place. And we talk about everything. We tell you guys this too. There's nothing off the table. All conversations are valid. All conversations are on the table. So if you are a little sensitive, don't hesitate to just log off. It's okay. Come back for the next show. But Trigga, tell the people, who are you? Who are you?
Let's see. I'm Taja King. Off stage, on stage, I'm Trigga. I'm a loving, caring person. I'm extremely shy if I don't really know you, honestly. So if you try to come up to me and I'm just like, hi, it's not no disrespect. I'm sorry. I'm extremely shy. I'm working on it, but I'm a good dad. I got 3 kids that love everything I do. They are here for it. They actually help me pick out a lot of my songs and stuff that I wear for shows. So I'm a cook by nature. Yeah.
Oh.
So you have 3 biological children?
1 biological and 2 to a previous relationship. We planned them together, so.
Okay. Cool. That's awesome. Cool. So for those of you that don't know, Trigga is a trans man. Okay. So born female and trans men. So Trigga can biologically have children. For those of you that are a little confused, but you just said that you guys plan in your previous relationship. You have 2 children that you planned. What does that mean? Because a lot of people, I know what it means, but what does that mean for the people that don't know?
Well, being that I was with a cisgender woman and I am trans, we can't physically have kids together. So we talked about it and said we would have kids. We, made a plan, decided how we were going to do it. And this from there on, like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to do it this way. And you are the dad. Like, you're going to, be in the kid's life. And that's how we did that.
Cool. So I know for our high sedity and sophisticated folk, they may go to the sperm bank. They may have an artificial insemination. They may have a doctor put the baby inside. But for you guys, it sounds like you found a donor, found somebody that you guys liked, and y'all laid down, did the do, and y'all got pregnant.
Yeah. Okay. It was like, we talked about it. So it's just like, look, this is what we need you for. This, that's it. That's all.
Got it.
I get it. Yeah. Okay.
So tell us about like the pageant world. You have won a few titles. You just recently won TRANSworld, but you have a few other titles as well. So tell us about just your life in pageantry and why, how, where you are now.
Well, yesterday actually made 6 years being an entertainer. But when I first started, it was just, coming out to the bar, hanging out. And it was an open stage, so I was performing. Like one of my close friends from high school was the show host, so I would just go and have fun. And the bar owner, he always be sitting there watching. He was like, "You've been here a couple of times. Like, you do a good job. You like this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I love it." He's like, "All right, do this pageant." Me not knowing what it was, I'm like, "Okay, let's do this pageant." It's like, "Yeah, you need a suit, you got interview, and then get up there and do what you do on Wednesday." So I'm like, "All right, let's do this." So my first one I got what you surveyed. So I was Mr. Iowa first alt you surveyed, but I got my ticket to nationals. I went to nationals. I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Like, y'all got me out here with all these people. Like, look what they wearing. Like, I mean, I had a suit and stuff, stones, but it wasn't nothing compared to what they was doing. I was like, yeah, no, we need to work on this. But as I got, started doing it more and more and got further with my transition, I decided that MI wasn't for me, because me personally, for MI pageants, like when it comes to evening wear, like you got to be stoned to the gods. You got to be covered in stones. If you're not covered in stones, you're not placing in top 10, top 5. They ain't gonna care about your suit. It's creative formal wear, but if you're not covered in stones, they ain't gonna look at you. And me personally, I live my life as a male on a daily basis, and I feel like, not saying like that's too early, but I'm not that feminine when it comes to suits per se for me. So I'm not the one that's gonna want to be covered in stones. I tried it one year. My suit had 9,000 stones on it. I know, because I stoned it myself, and it was nowhere near enough. I was like, this is for me. So I decided when I found out that there was Mr. Pageants that trans people can do, I decided to cross over and went straight to that and started doing that. And that fits me more, because I don't have to feel like I need to look like a male to do this, because that's what I already am.
Got it.
And so with some of them, you have the people that are like, oh, you're not masculine enough. You might have those little comments and those little things that might bother you. So that's why when it was opportunity, it was a trans pageant, I was like, I'm doing this. This is me. This is who I am on a daily basis. I could be myself and don't got to worry about nothing extra.
So for the viewers and listeners, explain to them, because everybody don't know, everybody's pageant boys or competitors. Explain to them the difference between the Mr. Pageants and the MI pageant.
The MI pageants is, you got to be born female for all the MI pageants. You have to be born female. If you're not born female, then you cannot do it. And as far as my understanding, I believe if you also have a sex change, you cannot do MI, if I remember correctly for that. So that's pretty much the difference between MI and all the regular pageants. You have to be born female. You can give them the male illusion, but you have to be born female to do.
And MI means male illusionist, for those of you that don't know that either.
Okay. So now you stated that you went to nationals or whatever. It was your first time. Did you actually compete?
Yes. My first year, I got 20 out of 30, I believe. And then my second year doing MI, I got 17th out of 24. My very first, I'm like, I mean, I guess it's good because it was my first 2 years, but there was definitely room for improvement.
Got it.
So
go ahead.
go ahead.
No, you go.
So now, how many titles do you have now, including TRANSworld?
Well, I'm still Mr. Iowa Unlimited because we did not renew that, and Mr. Gay Great Plains, United States. Neither one of those were removed, so I never had to step down for those. So I guess those are my forever titles. I was Mr. Capital City Pride twice. That's in Des Moines, Iowa. Mr. Garden. Let's see. Mr. Gay Missouri second, and that was for Gay America. And then there's Mr. Great Plains, and that was in Minnesota. That was the last MI one. That was right before COVID.
Okay, so that's 7. So 8 with TRANSworld.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how many MIs?
3.
3. Okay. Awesome. Cool.
Wow. So 3 MIs. So the rest are Mr.
3 MI, 3 Mr., and then now Mr. TRANSworld. Yeah. And there's one more. One of them was a bar title for Mr.
Okay.
Now, you said something that I will always remember. And I'll ever forget this. You said,
You read it too, because that's why he laughed.
you said to us,
He said what he said.
I play with the boys and I date the girl. What the hell does that mean? I think I know, but explain what that means, because this is the part where if you're sensitive, go ahead and log off, because there's nothing off the table. So tell us what that means. I play with the boys and I date the girls.
Well, I am a pay and trans man, so when I say the girls, I mean trans women. I used to mess with cis women, but honestly, I love trans women. I love a chick with a dick.
Okay.
And I mean, I mess with boys, like I play around with boys, but yeah.
So boys meaning cisgender boys?
Or both.
Cisgender, gay, which queen, it is what it is. Like, I just like what I like.
Yeah.
Okay, so it sounds to me like you definitely like penis.
Yes.
Okay. And that's fine, but I think like when people look at you, they may think you're a gay man, of course, but in the community, we know that you're a trans man. We understand what trans man means, but then, we kind of would just assume, right? Assumption would be Trigga dates women, cisgendered women, but you're saying you don't date cisgendered women. You don't really even sleep with cisgender women because you like a girl with a penis.
Yeah, I mean, I've done the cisgender thing. I was married before. I got 2 kids, so I've done that before. I retired. Right.
So tell me, okay, what's the difference? What's the difference? Other than, you like to be penetrated, clearly.
Well, I am versed, so, it can go both ways.
Okay.
I guess the difference would be, like, I don't like toys. So with cisgender, if it is penetration, it have to be toys, and that's not my thing. It's a different thing.
Okay. Got it. I understand.
So, mostly cisgendered people, they have this narrative or this saying, why transition from female to male, but still like penis? What is your thoughts around that?
Honestly, I've always been more masculine my whole entire life. Like, even when I was pregnant, everybody said, you're a man, pregnant man. Like, I mean, I used to dress like a girl, but honestly, the female body was never something that was fully comfortable to me. I always felt off. I felt like it didn't belong. It made me feel a different type of way. Like, I was kind of in depression, but I found other ways to try to hide it. But that whole body and everything, it was very uncomfortable. So me transitioning into a man and looking more masculine, like, this is better for me. I feel more comfortable. Like, it's not about the sex. I can go without it. But it's just me as a person as a whole, this makes me feel more comfortable. So it makes me feel more like.
So what was it that happened in your life, or at what point did you get to, I'm just not happy with who I am or what I see?
I honestly would say second grade. I have a picture that I post a lot. It was career day at school, and I came home and told my mom it was career day. She was like, "What do you want to be?" I said, "A businessman." She said, "Huh?" I said, "A businessman." So she dressed me up as a businessman. I was like somebody's son. And from that moment on, I knew like this is it. But I did encounter I was raped by family members when I was younger. So that partly had a lot to do with the trauma as to why I was not comfortable in that body.
You said family members.
Yeah, family members. It was karaoke.
We're gonna go to that, but let's go back to, you said your mom dressed you as a businessman.
Yes.
So did your mom accept you to continue to be a tomboy or whatever you was after saying that?
For the most part, however I decided to dress, my mom was pretty much okay with it. Because it wasn't like, honestly, I used to dress like Aaliyah and Ellen. Like Ellen was my go-to. So being that I dressed like Ellen, she really wasn't too much bothered by it. She loved it. Like, okay, yeah, that's cute. But then when I could start going a little more over to Lil Wayne and Usher, she was like, well, hold on. Let's work on this. Like, it got to the point where my high school prom, I went to the suit store. I had a pink Steve Harvey suit, some pink gaiters, and a Godfather hat. Like, that's what I was wearing for prom. And my mom was like, she was okay with it because like we was gonna get it fitted and everything.
Yeah.
But she literally went and found, she went to Kansas City, I'll never forget, went to Kansas City, met up with some director, this clothing designers, and came back and was like, so what if you have a custom made Louis Vuitton dress? I'm like, what? She was like, what if you get a custom made Louis Vuitton dress? I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. Not thinking she was serious. Whole time she's like, oh, well, here's your pattern. Here's your material. We're going to get the dress. So I did wear a dress to prom, but it was Louis Vuitton, so I didn't care. I had a tiara. I looked better than the prom queen, so I didn't care.
So was that a shocker to the people, your friends and stuff, when you walked in with a dress? Like,
sort of, kind of, but at the same time, I grew up in church, and everybody knows my mom's a missionary. All my friends knew how she was because she was at every track meet, so everybody knew her. But it wasn't really a shocker because it's like, oh yeah, your mom made you wear a dress. It was something we kind of knew was going to happen. Even when I was planning to wear a suit, we already kind of knew part of my mom's going to try to fight this at the last minute, and that's what she did.
Okay, now let's rewind. You said you were raped by family members.
Yes.
When was the first encounter?
I'd probably say going into first grade.
Wow. And did you
tell your mom?
Yeah. And did you understand what was happening?
I very much understood what was happening because that was something we talked about all the time, and she always told me no. But I guess being that I was so young, and it was family members that I knew, and I also knew how they lived their life on a regular. So when you tell me you're gonna hurt my mama or somebody that me telling something, like, even though I knew at the end of the day, like, my mama could defend herself if something really came down to it, me being a kid, it still, I scared me. So I didn't really.
We hear that all the time. Like, the child doesn't tell their parent because the person who's doing this is threatening the parent. Like, if you tell your mom I'm a killer, if you tell your mom I'm and when you're in the first grade, I mean, yeah, like, I'm gonna protect my mom if I can. No brainer.
Literally, so that's why in my head it was, you keep letting this happen, your mom's gonna be fine. You're not have to worry about that. So I cried about it. It sucks because I was so young and I knew it wasn't okay, but in my head I was protecting my mom.
Your second family member, how old are you?
It's probably about second grade. They were real close. They were always together, so it was kind of like, yeah, this happened, so yeah.
So your mom never had a clue?
No.
Does she know now?
Oh yeah. Honestly, the reason she ended up finding out was because unfortunately it started happening to other family members, And so my grandma got to the point, because my grandma ended up finding out, she like, wait, hold on. She got to call on the moms, like, yo, talk to your kid. Did this happen? Did this happen? This happened. So that's how she ended up finding out. And she was extremely hurt by it, because she, at the end of the day, she was like, I'm your mom. You should have came and told me. But I told her, I was like, Mom, I didn't know what to do. Like, I know how they live their life on a regular. I don't want to come tell you, because if they live their life like that on a regular, they have no regards for you at all.
So what happened to these family members after everybody talked about it? Everybody knew what was going on. What happened?
One disappeared and one is in jail.
One went to jail for doing this and the other disappeared.
Yeah, the one that's in jail, he's in jail for doing this. The other, that's when it got to the point where people started talking. So that one, he's been in there, I think, since I was in 10th grade.
So was your case included in that?
I didn't want to be included in it. I mean, they had enough other stuff, and so I just stayed out of it. But it was aware that it was happening to other people.
And now the third time,
I want to say 5th grade.
Another family member. So they know that these two have done this. So it's all on Front Street, and then it happens again.
Yeah.
Men or women?
Men.
Wow.
And so that one, did your mom find out, or did you have to tell her, or how did that go?
Well, I actually was out of town visiting, because I traveled a lot. Like, we lived in different states, so every summer I would travel to go visit my cousins. So I was actually visiting, and when that happened, I'm like, yeah, no, I gotta go. So I stayed with my grandma for about a week, and then I went back home. And I just never said nothing and never went back.
But your mom knows now, right?
She will when this episode airs.
Wow.
So is it
devastating for a mother? Like, I have 2 kids that I birthed, that I'm raising, that I take care of, that I just cannot imagine. And I'm so particular about, they don't get to spend the night at people's houses. I'm like super anal about it. And I've never been molested. And I guess a lot of people don't have that story to tell, but I can't imagine that happening to my child. It's devastating. Like, listening to you say 1st grade, 2nd grade, 5th grade, like, that's devastating to me. Like, it hurts my feeling. Like, it
makes me afraid for my girls every day. I have 2 girls and a boy, so I'm afraid for them every day.
Yeah.
So mentally, like, what did that do to you mentally?
It put me in a bad head. Like, honestly, for a while, I didn't mess with men for a couple years because of that situation, and it didn't make me feel safe. But I guess as I got older and I started realizing, like, clearly they weren't all there. They had no regards for people at all. Like, I can't push everyone away because of what I went. So it took some time of me have just through conversation and years and finding other things to try to take my mind off it, or you meet other people that it's happened to and you guys become friends. Like, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of times I don't share my story. Like, a friend could be telling me and I just say it's relatable and I don't say anything, but that we have our bond. So it helps me with different things that mentally to overcome.
Did you ever receive counseling?
No, I just prayed about it.
So you received no counseling?
No.
Okay, so you have a biological child, you've been molested. In your molestations, the 3, was there penetration?
Yeah.
Okay, so you end up having a biological child at what age?
21.
So I guess between you reconciled with being intimate with a male at some point, did it ever feel awkward, or does it even feel awkward now because that is your preference to be with someone who has a penis? So is that awkward ever?
It used to be for the most part, and then there's been times where, sometimes people are a little more aggressive than others, and sometimes it used to be like, whoa, like pause, talking about pineapples. So I guess it just was a mental thing to me. Like I had to mentally get over it. Like even when sometimes it gets a little more aggressive, like hold on, pause. Like it's just something in my head. Like okay, this isn't that person. This isn't that situation. So I mean, it took a while.
Yeah, I would think so.
If I may ask, and you don't have to answer, but what's your HIV status?
Negative.
Now, do you actively practice safe sex?
Yes, I am. I go to the doctor every 2-3 months. I practice safe sex, and I am on PrEP.
Okay.
Yeah, I make sure.
Yeah, yeah, that's important.
Yeah, and are you currently in a relationship?
No.
Wait a minute, what's the ooh?
Kind of, sort of, maybe no.
I'm dating. I've been. What?
I guess I was thinking. I'm not this way, shit.
I don't know about that, Alice.
Yeah, you sound like you in a relationship. I'm gonna tell you that right now. And your ass gonna be in trouble when they see this. Talking about no. So wow, I think it is. We hear often, and I'm kind of going back. So no, I didn't go to therapy. I prayed about it. That is not a good answer. And people in the Black community, I want y'all to know that praying about it is not enough. And it's okay to go to therapy. It's okay to talk through this stuff. It's okay to have those conversations because, like, it has to affect you in some way, even if it's just being terrified for your children. And I think having coping tools to deal with those emotions is important, especially for our overall mental health. I'm starting to feel like mental health is more important than physical health. Like mental health is on a damn war page right now. So
especially in the Black community.
Absolutely. One thing, I was talking to an elderly person in the grocery store, and we somehow started talking about suicide. And she said to me, and she was a Black lady. She said, you know, in my day, and probably in your parents' day, Black people didn't kill themselves. It was unheard of. You never heard of Black people killing themselves, and now it's everywhere. Black people are killing themselves. And she said, times have changed. We are changing as a people. And, you know, she's elderly, so I'm listening, and I thought, wow, she's right. I remember my dad saying that to me. We don't kill ourselves. Like, we don't do that. And now when a young person commits suicide, it's almost like mind blowing. It's devastating. Like, what, you know, what color was she or what color was he? Because we didn't do that before. And now it's crazy, but mental health is so dang important. So, you know, I would say to you, consider going to therapy, consider talking through that shit, consider sharing with someone that you don't know that's educated, that has tools to help you work through the emotions that you don't tell anybody about, that you don't share, that you keep to yourself. You have a full life ahead of you. And I think to release whatever it is you hold in that space, whatever it may be, I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
I think it's worth it. I think it's worth, like, being a better version of you, being a happier version of you, being more at peace with you. All those things, you deserve that. So it requires more than prayer.
Yeah.
You.
And I want to say, you know, now that you are a part of the TRANSworld brand, because you are now, like you are cemented. You are the first Mr. TRANSworld, and you know, we want you to know that we are here for you.
Yeah.
We don't care about any narratives that have been painted about you that's out there. None of that matters. What matters is day one from when you won. You don't have to go through life alone.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say that, we are here, we are open. I'll make sure you also have my number, because we can't do life alone. That's just period. We can't do life alone, and we try to be tough, especially us trans men, but we all need somebody. And I know that for sure. As strong as I am, degrees, everything, I suffer with mental health. I do. I suffer with anxiety and depression, and it hits me out of nowhere. Everything could be going great. Roof over my head, car, job, beautiful family, and it'll hit me. I remember one time I was supposed to be preparing for church, and it just hit me. And I stayed in the rocking chair the entire time. The light on, clothes everywhere, and I'm a neat freak. And I did not know what was wrong with me. And I just felt depressed and alone. And I know I got all these people that love me, but when it hit, you can't control it. So when you got people out there that love you and that's willing and that, have their arms open for you, utilize those people. And I'm letting you know right now that TRANSworld, we are those people. And you probably have your own set people, but allow us to be in your corner as well. Yeah. I always say, trust me unless I give you a reason not to trust. And that's what we want you to do for us. Trust us unless we give you a reason not to trust.
Yep. Well, this is another great interview. And I'm still like, every time I think about you, Trigga, I think I play with the boys, but I take the girl. That is funny. That tickles me on the inside.
Let me get that on shirt.
Yeah, I think that's the title of this show. That's going to be the title of this show. I play with the boys and I date the girl.
Yeah. That's almost like that thing that stuck out with Alfonso them in the green room, from the hoe to the home.
From the hoe to the home.
And the people was, hitting. So yeah, that's your trick.
But we appreciate you hanging out with us. We always enjoy just hearing different stories from different people. And, in season 1, we didn't have any pansexuals, I don't think. We've had several pansexuals already in the season 2 of the TRANSworld podcast. So I'm always learning, I'm like, pansexual, what's that?
Yeah. It's making me check myself out. Hold on, yeah, check. Oh, well, okay.
I don't know. I guess I'm still pretty in the box of. I'm still pretty much in the box of lesbian, I think. But I do believe love is love. Huh?
You had to like one lesbian.
I'm sorry. I can't hear both of you. Say it again.
I said, so are you a lipstick lesbian?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I am. Yeah, I'm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, that's accurate. So I think I still pretty much fall in that box. But I do believe that love is love, and when it's right, gender doesn't matter. Yeah, I believe that.
I'm a firm believer of that.
I bet you are. Oh, I bet you are. But yeah, nonetheless, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. Malik, let's wrap this thing up.
All right. So here on this TRANSworld podcast, we created a safe space for our trans brothers, sisters, and non-binary counterparts to be able to tell their truth. We would love to advertise your business on this TRANSworld podcast, and we're also looking for community partners and sponsors. Follow us on our social media. You can follow Raquel at RAQUELRT3. You can follow TRANSworld ATL, and you can follow me at 1. That's the number 1 gorgeous _ _ church world.
Understood.
No. And also please go over to our YouTube channel, subscribe at Dreamcatchers Production. Thank you.
Yeah. Guys, thank you so much. And until next time, we'll leave you with this. It's a TRANSworld podcast. We're here to educate you about the trans experience as well as the experiences of our non-binary family as well. We're about equality. We're about change. We're about community. We're about support. And most important, we always say love is love. I'm Raquel. And until next time, guys, be good. It's a TRANSworld podcast. We'll see you soon.
That's right. Thank you.